Welcome back to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. This is Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the Takamura Migaki VG-10 Gyuto 210mm knife. This line of knives is well known for its performance, this manufacturer in general, this maker, and nice fit and finish, and again, thin blades with very, very good performance, and this is no exception. The way these are made is you've got a 3-layer construction. It's all stainless, so you've got a hard core cutting edge steel in the center that is VG-10 full stainless. Heat treats about 61 Rockwell. They do a very nice job on their VG-10, which can be a quite nice steel if it's done correctly and done well. The construction is a soft stainless cladding on either side of that hard core cutting edge steel, and they've done they do a really nice job on fit and finish in these, and it's got a fair amount of polish. I'm trying to get my grubby fingerprints all over it, but if we kind of check it out, there's your cladding line. So they've got a really cool line there where the cutting edge steel peeks out from the cladding. The weight and dimensions are pretty consistent on these. This particular one is 160 grams or 5.6 ounces. Edge length right about 13 millimeters or 8.4 inches. And overall length about 13.25 inches or 337 millimeters from tip to end of handle. The spine thickness, these are thin knives overall, so you've got a spine about 1.8 at the back, and I got about 1.75, or pretty similar to that halfway down, and then not a lot of real taper to the thickness of the spine, what's called distal taper, but as the grind kicks in and as it thins out, these get quite thin at the tip. They're known for that, and they also grind these nice and thin at the edge. Come on, camera. There we go. Took that a minute to catch up. So they're thin at the edge or thin at the tip. Very nice performance on these, almost laser style, really laser style performance. These aren't quite as thin as the R2s, but they do a really good job. Blade height is about 45.5 at the back. Handles are black Pakawood, which is a stabilized wood product, and they've got nice fit and finish on everything. You've got kind of a pinned bolster. It's not an integrated bolster, but a nicely executed pin bolster. Stainless steel rivets. A partial tang handle to keep the weight down, so the tang goes to the back of the handle and then does not extend completely around, so that keeps the weight down. And the handle are fairly slim on these. They've got a fair amount of, they've got a little bit of a side slab to them, but they're fairly kind of curvy on the top and the bottom. So, you know, if you got really big hands, it might feel a little small, but for most people, it's just kind of a good size appropriate, proportional appropriate handle for this style of knife. The balance point, that handle being a little lighter, helps bring that balance point back a little bit from where it could be with a full tang. So there's your balance point, which is just in front of that choil. Definitely behind a pinch grip, but it keeps that reasonable so it's not super handle heavy. Again, fit and finish on these is very well done. Let's get our beauty shot for our video. And so they've got some kind of laser cut kanji on the right side of the blade, then their logo embossed on there. Vertical finish marks on the finishing equipment they're using. Come on, camera. Do your thing. There you go. So it's kind of shiny, as you can tell, a little hard to focus for the camera. But there's your finish on it. There's your edge steel and the edge itself. Nice fit and finish on the spine, nice fit and finish on the choil. So usually 6, maybe 7 out of 10 edges on these, so they're quite sharp out of the box. The steel does sharpen up very nicely as well. Fair amount of stiffness for the thinness. Given the thinness of the blades, they've got a little bit of stiffness to them. And so they feel good on the cutting board. They've got a really great profile on these. It's just kind of a good all-around profile that makes the most of that space. So you've got a fairly flat back third. It's not totally flat, but it flows into the heel and works well for chopping. And you've got kind of a middle ground shallow belly and then a little bit more belly towards the tip. So you can rock these a little bit too. They're not going to get super high on a rock, but they'll get in that area. And so that means you can rock really over most stuff that you would normally do with a 210 size blade, and yet also have a little bit of chopping towards the back. So these are just a great package. So the R2s are a little thinner, a little harder, steel, a little bit more susceptible to, misuse if you don't kind of pay attention to what you're doing. These are a little more forgiving. The performance is very, very good, but not quite as good as the R2 line, but also, again, a little bit more forgiving package and a little less expensive. So just another superb line of knives from them. So this is the Takamura Migaki VG-10 Gyuto 210mm knife.